Alright, okay. It's pretty safe to say that my previous predictions video went a little bit worse than I thought it would, but I will not be swayed. Another Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak digital event is on the horizon, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to give it another shot. There's sure to be plenty of shiny new things to show off on May 10th, and with the release date quickly approaching, I don't think Capcom is going to hold back. As an added bit of fun, I figured we'd go over the previous predictions and see just how wrong I was, but we'll do that bit at the end. Now, some will stay the same as before, others will change based on the info we have, but without further ado, as we await the digital event, I am Peak Ginge, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get predicting. First thing out the gate, a brand new monster reveal. I think this is a no-brainer, really. With Malzeno, Lunagaron, and Garangolm, we have our Dracula, Wolfman, and Frankenstein's monsters, so what could the next one be? Well, I suppose it depends on where they want to take the thematic. Will it stay sort of gothic and European-inspired as it has so far, with a gigantic gargoyle-like fanged beast? Or is the theme just more classic movie monsters, and we'll get to see a huge mummy-inspired flying wyvern on the horizon? My money is actually probably going to be on the second one, I think. Monster Hunter has no shortage of concept art. In fact, there's one that has existed for a very long time, of something called the Crypt Hydra, from very, very early on in Monster Hunter's lifespan. And I know, this is likely repurposed into what we now know as Nikakos, and Atalkar already did the Egyptian aesthetic, but I don't think it quite rules it out entirely. Now, I don't think we would ever see a monster literally covered in bandages. That would be a bit weird for Monster Hunter, but I could see them adapting the bandages into something like, I don't know, a serpentine monster with shedding skin. Maybe we will even see the return of snake wyverns, because Lord knows they need some attention, and well, Remobras were in Rise after all. I don't know how likely it is, but I think it's a possibility, so I'm going with it. On top of that, we will get some new footage of Astalos, similar to the snippets of Lunagaron we got in the previous event. It will show off its agility, as well as a few new tricks it'll have up its sleeve, but it will be far from the focus, as is standard for the returning monsters. However, alongside the Astalos gameplay, we will get a brand new look at a returning vintage map. A ground-up remake of the original, the OG Monster Hunter locale, Forest and Hills. It will be getting the same treatment as the Sandy Plains and the Flooded Forest, going from a section traditional map to a much more open and vertical style, like the other Rise maps. For newer players, this will be just another map, but for old school fans, it'll hit them right in the nostalgia. Now, why is this one of my predictions? Well, if you go onto the official Monster Hunter site and go onto the page for the Citadel, the page is titled New Locales. I pointed this out in a previous video, so I'm pretty well convinced that there's going to be more than one new map when Sunbreak releases, and this is where I'm putting my money. Okay, quick pause, quick pivot, don't go anywhere. I won't keep you for too long here. A few weeks back, I did a poll to see if there was any interest from you guys for live streaming content, and whilst it wasn't everyone's cup of tea, a good amount of you were interested, so I thought, fuck it, let's do it. At the moment, I'm planning to stream right here on this YouTube channel, leading up to the very event we are predicting in this video, the Sunbreak announcement on May 10th. As it stands, I'll go live maybe an hour or so beforehand. We can hang out, do some content, and then react to the event, so why not tag along? I think it's at like midnight my time, which is like 7 AM Pacific, which is so early, so don't forget to hit the notification bell, and I'll see you there. Alright, let's get back to predictions. Next up is, of course, new subspecies. We got a taste of it in the last event with Blood Orange Bishaten, but that will be far from all. In this trailer, we will get a brief glimpse of not one, not two, but 3 new subspecies. The first 2 will be a pair of sorts, one for Acnosom and another for Tetranodon. The brand new Cobalt Acnosom will be a dazzling blue color with a bright yellow crest and will spew ice attacks instead of Acnosom's usual flames. It will step up the challenge of the normal form, bringing much more aerial prowess along with the ability to inflict ice blight. Tetranodon's new form will be known as the Honeydew Tetranodon, and it will be more saturated green and yellow color with an electric blue belly. As it beats its stomach, your hair stands on end as pulses of electricity emanate from its body to inflict you with Thunder Blight. That's right, it is Thunder Element. It is almost always in its sumo form and makes up for its slow speed with a brand new set of AoE electric attacks. Now, I did say 3 new subspecies, and maybe I'm going a bit overboard. In fact, I'm certain that I am. But hey, we're already this deep, so let's get on with it. 2 words. Igneous Ghost Harag. Shit, that's 3 words. Anyway, Igneous Ghost Harag will make a very brief, albeit impactful appearance, as we only get to see its silhouette, its jet black fur, and a little bit of it spewing magma on its arm to form an igneous rock blade where once there was ice. Maybe this belongs on a wish list rather than a predictions list, but I will die happy if this one is true. Following on from those, we will go on to get a good amount of focus and new info on the new Silkbind attacks and the switch skills. And I know this because, well, the teaser pretty much just says so. See? Right there. There it is. It will go over some of the new design philosophies behind each. About half of them will reinforce existing playstyles, like something defensive for lance and aggressive for dual blades, whereas half of them will aim to shake up the weapons significantly. This will be accompanied by a sizzle reel for the new moves, but short in-depth videos will be released separately for each weapon, as they've sort of done so previously. From here we will get some minor details regarding the new features, like the new wire bugs with differing effects and additional tools for the palicos and palamutes, but we still need some sort of big reveal. Something to really get the fanbase excited, like that Astalos reveal from the previous trailer. Something nostalgic and something that will just fit right in perfectly to Rise. Also, I am firmly of the mind that Sunbreak should continue to bring back different monsters to Iceborne, and so far so good. Okay, just give me a sec whilst I copy and paste a portion of my script from the previous prediction video and make a couple changes. Okay, one last teaser for a fan-requested returning monster. The final clip will show lava oozing from the ceiling of the lava caverns, and pause for just a moment. Tremors will begin, and a small part of the ceiling will fall away before it erupts open with a gigantic leviathan exploding from within and then freeze frame. And we see the return of none other than the Agnaktor, ready to return in full force after it was done so dirty in the base game when the Euroctors were there and Agnaktor wasn't. So, there's my predictions for the May 10th event. I wonder how it'll go. Surely better than the last one, right? Yeah. Speaking of which, let's see just how shocking those previous predictions were. I started off by predicting the return of an unexpected monster, with my guesses being the Gobel and the Nibblesnarf. My logic behind this was that these two monsters were each iconic, albeit underappreciated monsters from each of the returning Gen 3 maps, Sandy Plains and the Flooded Forest. But, alas, I was completely wrong. We did get Astalos, but I wouldn't say he was unexpected to the level I was implying. From there, I theorized that there would be a new monster themed around Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which would change forms between different states of the fight, which was wrong. However, I did say that Frankenstein's monster was the obvious pick, and well, we got Garangolm. Now, Garangolm also does indeed take on a bit of a different form when enraged and gets two new elements, but at best I'd say I get half a point, and at worst maybe I should have just gone with the low-hanging fruit. And then I went for the redone version of a third generation map to continue on with the theme of the Sandy Plains and the Flooded Forest, which was also wrong. And instead we got a deeper dive into the Citadel, which honestly was probably a better move. I sort of kept this prediction in this video, but went for an older generation map rather than specifically Gen 3, so let's see how we go this time. I then went on to predict a new deep dive into Silkbind and switch skills, a prediction that I carry through today. We did indeed get to see some new ones, but it wasn't what I would call a deep dive, so to speak. More info on Malzeno was definitely something we got, however, as we got to see some new footage of it, its movement, and those new butterflies that fly around him. But we still are lacking any real gameplay. Not that I have an issue with this, the more surprises the better, but I just thought we would have seen some more by now. My second to last prediction was the debut of something I termed Royal Rampages, an evolution of Rise's Rampage quests. And honestly, we haven't even heard a whisper about the new Rampages, so I don't know what's going on there. Base Rise had Rampages mentioned from the very beginning of its marketing, and it was a key part of the story, but so far in Sunbreak, they are yet to be seen. Are they abandoning them for the expansion? Or will there just be non-key Rampage quests for Master Rank that just use harder monsters and hold no bearing on the story? I guess we'll have to wait and see. And finally, my last prediction was, well, the same as the final prediction this time around. The return of the Agnaktor. I just think it makes a whole lot of sense, and, well, honestly, I just really like the Agnaktor a lot. So, bring it back, Capcom. Just do it. Be cool. Well, that's about it for today's video. Predictions are now out there floating around from all corners of the internet, so let's see if we can do better than, like, half a point like last time? Probably not, but leave your predictions down below too. I'd love to see them. It's always interesting to see people's thoughts and wishes. Be sure to stay tuned for more Monster Hunter and Sunbreak specific content in the future, and, well, I'll catch you on the next one, folks. See you later.